crime is the worst part of any community. And it's going crazy in the streets. People were so upset at me the other day. Some people, not all the people, but some people were so upset at me the other day for talking about Chicago and their crime that it made me want to even talk about it even more. So I went and I Googled and I YouTubed. I said, give me something interesting so that I could bring to the people. And I hit the jackpot. Chicago. Y'all striking again. Not only are people dying at the hands of gun violence in the streets of Chicago, but people are dying at the hands of gun violence, but the guns are registered to police officers. And no. The police officers are not the ones doing the killings. They're on the streets with the gang members. It seems like somebody in the police in the police corporation is selling their guns to these people on the streets. Let's tune into the video and see what's going on out here in the streets.
One way law enforcement works to protect and serve is by getting guns out of the hands of criminals. But we've discovered each year thousands of guns once carried by officers are turning up at crime scenes around the country.
CBS News partnered with nonprofit newsrooms The Trace and Reveal. We surveyed more than 200 police departments nationwide. Most told us that they either sell or trade their used guns. Here's national investigative correspondent Stephen Stock.
You know, another family lost another child at the hands of a firearm that shouldn't even be on the streets. It shouldn't even be on the streets.
Candace Leslie's only child died 3 years ago, shot 4 times outside his apartment.
We desensitized.
Let me switch up the view so y'all can see what's going on. But like this wonderful mother said, this sad mother, we desensitized. We acting like this should be a normal thing that's going on in the streets of Chicago. Teens and young people dying every day. I'll address it. If y'all don't want to address it in Chicago, I'll be the one to address it for the entire community. We want to see it better. We don't want to see this happening.
Ties to just another black child being murdered. Yeah, it's just common.
From the scene, detectives gathered a gun involved in Cameron's death, but police have made no arrest.
I'm losing trust in the people who are supposed to protect and serve us.
But what Candace didn't know, until we told her, was that a weapon involved in her son's death here in Indianapolis was a former police weapon from a sheriff's office more than 2,300 miles away. Using public records, CBS News traced a gun involved in Brown's death, a Glock 21 handgun, to a sheriff's office in Stanislaus County, California.
There's no reason for police firearms to be.
Wow. I thought the police firearm was from Chicago. Apparently it's from California. Wow. It's not even supposed to be nowhere close to this state. So there's clearly some corruption going on in California. Clearly.
In the hands of teenagers.
I would say to Cameron's mom, I'm very sorry for your loss, but my organization had nothing to do with it.
Stanislaus County Sheriff Jeff Dirksey told CBS News Los Angeles he makes no apologies that his department sells its used service weapons.
Whoever did this, if he didn't acquire that gun, he's probably going to go acquire another one.
Dirksey says he saved taxpayers $25,000 last time he traded in about 650 guns. The department updates its arsenal every 7 to 10 years.
I mean, it's a legal transaction. I I mean, I'll go back to what would it, so if I legally sold my old used patrol cars and somebody uses that in the commission of a crime, is that our responsibility? I would say no.
His department is one of more than 140 law enforcement agencies nationwide we found offloading their used weapons to gun stores.
So this is about 220 Smith & Wesson M&P 40Cs that just came in as police trade-ins.
And those stores advertise the gun's police history as a selling point.
So what you end up with are quality firearms in really good condition.
During a 16-year time period ending in February 2022, the ATF traced 52,529 former police service weapons to crime somewhere in America. On average, that's more than 3,200 guns every year, 9 every day.
It's good to know that these things aren't going to end up someplace they shouldn't.
This is what Seattle's police department does with its used guns. We recently watched as they melted 179 used service weapons. Seattle changed its policy in 2016.
It's not worth that risk.
What's the worst thing in your mind?
So somebody bought this gun off of them, sent it to Chicago, and whoever got it in Chicago clearly didn't care about anybody's life, especially this young man, and they used it to shoot him. Listen here, I'm all about protecting yourself. I'm all about being equipped. I'm all about freedom to hold a gun, have a gun, and protect yourself with a gun. But at the same time, I have to sit back and remember there's so much people out here who just don't even care about anything. Any law, they don't care about life. They're willing to wreck their life. They're willing to crash out. They're willing to do anything it takes to survive. And the sad, unfortunate part is another life has been lost. And they don't know who did it. They don't know. They're not going to ever find out, maybe. This guy probably will not ever get caught. And this is a sad thing about it. A lot of the cases end up happening like this, where murders go unsolved. A lot of them go unsolved, man. Let's finish off this video.
It could happen if a police gun got in the wrong hands.
Well, if it'd be used in a criminal act, in a shooting, killing somebody, or even killing an officer.
As a police chief, I don't want any weapon that we owned to end up being used violently against another person in our country.
The Indianapolis police chief overseeing the investigation of Cameron Brown's shooting told us his department does trade in its guns. You'd be open to stopping that practice.
Well, I'd have to see, this is the taxpayers pay for these things.
Does it feel like Cameron's just a statistic?
I think it may feel like just a statistic to those handling his case, but to me, no. I feel that number all the way in my heart.
He's your boy.
Yep. And he's gone too soon.
The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives told CBS News that the practice of trading and selling old police weapons is illegal and that Congress would have to change the law. The White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention would not comment when asked about changes to either policy or the law.
I don't have a huge problem with them doing this. The only problem I have is that if it does get into the wrong hands, we see what happens. Praying for that mother, man. We're praying for that mother. We're praying for her family. We're praying that they get the answers they need. I can't blame it on the police officers, but we can blame it on the streets. The streets is wild. The streets is wild, especially in Chicago. Obviously not only in Chicago, but this one specifically was in Chicago. And Man, my message to a lot of y'all people that are watching this, that are going to see this is, again, protect your kids. Protect your kids, raise them the right way. Let them know this is not the right way to do things. This is not the right direction to go. Stay away from gangs. Stay away from violence. Stay away from the streets. Be peaceful. Be people of good character, man or woman. Respect the law authority. Respect police, and they will respect you back. And stand your ground, man, on stuff that you believe in, because we only got one life here. We only got one life, and we don't want to take this thing for granted. We don't want to make sure that the things that happen in the streets, that happen in the world, that we become another statistic. We don't want to be that. We don't want to do that. We don't want our sons, our daughters to be that. We want to go above and beyond. We want to be blessed. We want to be fruitful. We want to multiply, and we want to give, and we just want to spread love, and we want to see clean streets and money in our pockets, good relationships, and good everything, man, and more life. More life. It's sad, but let me know how you guys feel about that down in the comments below.